It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round where we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 165. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, Art of the Revolution. Eastern Memories is available now. The Feast PvP Team Season begins May 28th. Pre-orders available for Journeys, Final Fantasy XIV Arrangement Album. Moogle Treasure Trove, The Hunt for Philosophy commences May 30th. Upcoming changes to script and elegant homestones. Letter from the Producer Live Part 61? Is that what that one is? The Final Fantasy XIV Orchestra Concert Eorzean Symphony returns to Japan. Shadowbringers official benchmark available now. We've developers blog. We wonder about those leaks from the media tour, if those are right or not. We've got some happy hour. We've got a reminder about Score for a Cause. And don't forget about our contest. Whew, it's a long list. All right, but let's first shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hi, Ruby. How you doing?
Hi, Yelta. How are you, ma'am?
Good, good.
It's been fun lately, getting all this good info.
Right?
It's actually been nerve-wracking. This community was eating itself alive up until the live letter. Like, it's gotten wild. We've resorted to toilet memes in the community.
Yes.
We're so fucking bored. We've made a toilet FFXIV account. Not we, but there is a toilet. I wish I claimed that. That sucker blew up overnight. Like when I eat pizza before bed, blowing up overnight. It's funny as shit. These are my poop jokes. No, they're basically, if you have not seen this Twitter account, they take photos of toilets. I guess you could call them themed photos, something found on Google, or I guess if you want to light your toilet on fire or whatever you want to do, you can take your own picture. But they relate it to a dungeon or an expert, something within Final Fantasy XIV. So you've got the Bowl of Embers Extreme, and it's a toilet that's lit on fire. You've got Shiva, and it's an ice toilet, or a tree, and it's Gridania. And there are some really, really
Forbidden
funny
Land
ones.
of Eureka Pyrus is funny. It's a bunch of porta potties on fire. Oh my god.
Sounds legit.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff out there. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know I was even going to talk about the toilet memes, but here we are. So if you were, I'm going to see if I can find it real quick, but if you're interested.
It's FFXIV toilets.
That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
FFXIV toilets. These are great. Wow, Snowcloak. It's got a giant icicle coming up from. I would not want to sit on that. Yeah. So
0.1% wipe is pretty funny. It's a mostly empty toilet roll.
They don't have the percentages
will be removed.
yet.
Empty toilet roll. Oh my god. There's like some trashed bathrooms that say letter from the producer live.
I guess I can't hear anything on that toilet.
Oh no.
So yeah, good shit. So that's been keeping the community busy. That and those leaks. Everybody was looking for leaks. None of my inside people came through, so I guess they'll be going to the tour next year. But somebody opened their mouth. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Where was the quest for clout worth it? And were they right? So yeah, as far as what I did in game, not a whole heck of a lot. It was a busy work week for me. Like I had some 5:30 a.m. mornings. So it makes it a little tough to play at night. But I did some experts. Me and old Dario, our good friend and 1.0 friend and FC mate. I did an expert with him. And I think I did an expert the night before. And then just the gold saucer stuff. Just stuff to stay relevant. Get a few tomes. Ran some stuff on Chloe book. I think there's some... I think this week, maybe it was last week, but I think this week it's got Poetics in it, 500, and I'm really on that last stretch to get a couple more accessories to have dancer gear ready to go. when 5.0 launches. I just kind of want that shit out of the way when I decide to switch over to Dancer. Dancer's looking good. We'll talk about it. People are pissed about Dancer. I saw a hot take today. I'm not going to... We're not really a podcast that calls people out, but I saw a streamer's hot take about Dancer today, and I was just like, It was like, how can I get my these padded parses are going to mess up my FF logs. I don't like the direction this game is going because it's going to mess up my FF logs. It's like, I don't think this game was built for FF logs. I think it's the opposite, and Yoshida doesn't, check with the FF logs community before making changes to the game. So our good friend and ex-rep Shannon stepped in and tried to set that straight. But, everybody's got their own reason for playing. If orange parses make you happy, then be happy. But everything changes at an expansion, and it may not be the way you want it to change. My Twitter was very happy, though. I saw a lot of happiness. I'm sure you can find sadness if you want to look for it. But for the most part, my Twitter feed was very happy. I think a lot of people are excited about the changes. I think the monks, the machinists, and the white mages of Eorzea are extremely happy with what they're seeing on the front end. We do not have every detail yet, but we do have the end of the media tour, or at least the cap will be lifted, right? They're allowed to speak on the 29th of this month. So we will get more details then, and I'm sure they'll leak a little more stuff. The real leaks will come out as we get closer to Shadowbringers. So super excited for the future, but in the meantime, I'm trying to cultivate my hunger. I'm going to get it. This is a long weekend. I'm going to get in, get out, play other games. I'm back to playing Wargroove a bit. There's other Switch titles I want to play. I'd like to play toys with my son. I'm not really super worried. I did get in one night and I was like fucking with a summoner rotation. I wanted to mess with an opener, and there's one I saw that had 3 pet swap. Well, 2, I guess, really. But you start with Titan, and then you go to Ifrit, and then you switch to Garuda. And that's all well and good. It's just clunky as shit, though. To have to swap pets twice to just get that perfect parse. And I'm so happy for Shadowbringers because those changes to Summoner. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that, Yelta. But I am going to acquiesce. I'm going to let you speak next. Tell us what you did this past week.
Not much. I popped on last night just briefly because my husband told me we play our anniversary as the Cackpot, and it was like a number 4 winner or whatever. So I had to go get my Cackpot winnings, and then some people were on, so somebody wanted a roulette, so I did run a roulette of some sort on my Ninja, which is still not 70 because I haven't been playing. But I don't know. I pretty much just been kind of watching and waiting, playing other things. I don't know. I do want to hurry up and, I do have a couple goals I'd like to get done in the next month, but we'll see what happens. Because they're also not going anywhere, Mm-hmm. So, I didn't really play. I also didn't recognize a whole bunch of people in the free company, so I don't know who's been inviting them, but it's fine. But I just don't know who they are. I popped in at like 4 people whose names I'm like, I don't even know who you are. We're like, hi. I'm like, okay.
Not a bad thing.
No. I like growing. I like having people. We've got quite I think most of us playing right now are kind of on the more casual time, not running anything super hard. We do sometimes do some EX primals and well, I haven't, but some of y'all have done some Savage, but we're a lot of people right now are just kind of like leveling jobs, maybe farming some mounts. So it's some people are like working on getting their crafting up and stuff before the new expansion. So, but hell, I've been playing Toontown Rewritten with my sister. It's basically the Toontown like shut down years ago, but there's like a private server running somewhere, and that shit's like really relaxing, honestly. And I like playing with my sisters, so that's good. But that's about it for me. Watched the live letter, of course, or tried to watch it at work. on my phone. But we'll talk about that some more in a minute. Listeners, you can shoot the shit. Come to the website, www.gtffxiv.com, and let us know what you've been up to. Let's see. Let's go on to the first round is news. So the Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood Art of the Revolution Eastern Memories. That's one of the art books. Mine's sitting not even unwrapped yet. It's still in its cardboard shipping box. But I did get this. So this is the artwork from patches 4.2 through 4.5. There's a lot of illustrations, character designs. It also comes with a dress-up Tataru minion and a sheet of job crystals and minion stickers, which I will never ever stick on anything because that's how I am.
I don't. Right? I wouldn't use them either. I have a sheet of stickers from Dragon Quest IX when that came out like 10 years ago or something, and it's still in a book. I look at them occasionally when I find it in my little library in my bedroom, and then I just go back to hiding it back in the book that it's in, and there you go.
Well, somebody a long time. This is like years and years ago. It was like Redbubble. Some artist we know. Can't remember who it is, did like Garuda and some other ones, and I ordered some of the Redbubble stickers. Never even I bought like lots of them because I was going to give them away and stuff. No, I didn't. I was like, they're still like pristine in their box. I really should do something with them. Maybe save one of each for posterity. But I could put a badass Garuda sticker on my laptop or something. I don't know. All right, the Feast PvP team season begins on the 28th, which is very, very soon. So that's, let's see, you're trying to get in the top 20 of your data center and get special rewards. I think they announced it before, so I think we've already seen this stuff. So, this is the one where you have to build your team ahead of time, and then you, name your team. I've never honestly paid any attention to that because I would be too scared to do this. So. Yeah,
I don't have any inclination to do this. It does look like something different, though.
All right. Pre-orders are available for Journeys, Final Fantasy XIV Arrangement Album. So that's, I feel like they've already talked about this. It's somewhere else, too. But it's the third official arrangement album. It has 7 piano arrangements, including Crimson Sunset, accompanied by the beautiful shakuhachi instrument. I don't even know what that is. And 8 band arrangements. And it looks like there's some cool stuff on there.
I've seen the video for Crimson Sunset. I think it's an official video. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody took their cell phone in there.
No, I think there was one, but it was put out by Square Enix. Now that I think about it.
But it looked amazing, and it had Keiko on the piano, and then the other instrumentalists there, and it was beautiful.
And the release date for that is June 19th, and you also get 2 Orchestrion rolls, The Worm's Tale, Journey's version, and Escape, Journey's version. So, I'm a sucker for Orchestrion rolls. So, I don't know. This next one, we now know what the data miners had found, and it's the Moogle Treasure Trove, The Hunt for Philosophy. Now, are we not getting a Make It Rain campaign? Is this in place of it?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't heard anything about Make It Rain. I don't know if they're just going to skip it because we're so close. They didn't skip it for the last expansion, I don't think, for Stormblood. I don't recall.
It was June 6th in 2018. Oh, but they didn't announce it till the end of May. It was on 5/31 that they announced the Make It Rain campaign. So maybe it's still coming? I don't know. But I don't think we have any maintenance before then. Oh well. Anyway, so this is a new event, which is kind of cool. We haven't had a brand new event. Now, it's kind of funny because remember we before have had those, those Moogles. Now apparently they're going to have content with them. So you are going to collect, now wait for it, Ruby. You're going to collect irregular tomestones. So we get to collect more tombstones.
Mm-hmm.
And there are items that can only be obtained from this event. It's a special event with no set schedule. There are many rewards, including brand new items and other items that you may have been after. Complete the objectives and collect the rewards. So, the event overview. This starts at the end of May at 1 a.m. PDT, May 30th, and until the launch of patch 5.0. They also give a note saying the event may be suspended without warning, and the event will conclude with the maintenance for patch 5.0 begins. So, apparently, we're going to be trying to run duties, and the duties will be marked in our journal, our duty finder, with a little Moogle head. And you will get these tombstones from this content. And this is all old stuff. This is like Castor Meridium and the Praetorium. You'll get 3 for that. Labyrinth of the Ancient, Sicker's Tower, and the World of Darkness, you'll get 2. And then Tamtara, Copperbell, 1,000 Miles of Todorak, Sunken Temple of Karn, and the Stone Vigil, you get 1. And these are all the original versions, the level 16, 17, 24, 20, or 35, 41. So they're running us through old content. You cannot use the undersized party option, which was the first response I heard. Well, we're just going to make a party finder and go undersized, or I'll just solo it and do it undersized. You can't. You also might want to uncheck your party in progress flag if you're working on this, because you don't get one if you join a party in progress. So, okay. Do you have any comments about that?
I got a lot to shit on this.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to continue or wanted to stop.
Do you want to shit on the first half, or should we talk the whole thing? Shit on the whole thing?
I'll go continue. I'll hold my shit, and then I'll unload a giant shit after.
Okay. Okay, so then we have the item exchange. And it's that Moogle, I can't say his name. And they're already in the game. Wolf said he saw one. And so you will trade them. There's one in Limsa, one in New Danya, and one in Ulda. You will trade them these tombstones for items such as... A lot of them are stuff that exists in the game already. So the first one at the top of the list is a brand new item, as far as I can tell, the Namazu earring.
Yep.
It's 100 tombstones. That means doing...
Wait, that's part of the shit. That's part of the shitting.
That's part of the shit. Okay, yeah. So that's 100. You have a seemingly special time-worn map times 2. You get a Pegasus whistle, a white lantern whistle, rose lantern whistle, Answer's orchestrion scroll, Zantazukin, Haljarmer, Herkaldi, whatever, the Odin stuff. All the writing maps for the zones, like Northern Thanalan, blah, blah, blah. A Drake horn, a Laurel Gabo horn, an Elbst horn, Bomb Pelican horn, Althian whistle, Dire whistle, Boreas whistle, Sleipnir barding, MGP platinum card, the magic bucket, the baby brachiosaur. It just goes on and on. So, and then like the Toy Alexander, Construct 8, Wind Up Callister Fury, Brute Justice card, some cards, Smolder, Coming Home Equestrian Rolls, an Infernal Horn, and a Dimeteria of the Inferno. Now, to get some of these, they have little stars next to them, like you cannot get Construct 8 until you've obtained the achievement, didn't stop, made it pop. So you have to actually clear this content, it looks like, to actually be able to purchase these from the Moogle.
Right.
All
right, my ass is leaking. I'm ready to shit.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so.
Itinerant Moogle.
From
That's
the
one I can
top.
never say. From the top.
From the top. So this little 3-circle arrow. You know we love arrows. We have to have arrows.
Yes. Yep.
Recycle symbol here or whatever is going on.
It's recycled content, so that would work.
Have you seen the shit post of this?
I've seen... Yes, I have.
Which is basically queue for stuff, get tombstones, buy them from NPCs. It's nothing new. We are already doing this in-game. They're just Moogle tombstones. All right, so, a mild shit there. The fact that... Here's one silver lining before we move on to the rest. The fact that it could be suspended without warning, but there's no, it's not an event, like it's going to happen every May. This is one they can toggle on and off at any time. If they want to bring this back whenever, this is not like every December they do it, every May they do it. So it could be that if people aren't satisfied with the amount of time that they had to get these items, and I don't think they will be, they can toggle this back on again at some future point. All right, back to shitting.
Yep.
The actual objectives, I think I'm ready to move on into like the objective part of it.
Okay.
Joining a party in progress, not being part of this. If the whole reason for this event, which it's not to get these items, let's be honest, it's not. This is about getting these new people up to speed in some degree to get ready for Shadowbringers, and really so they can see Labyrinth of the Ancients and Circus Tower and World of Darkness. These things.
That story is important for the expansion, so I can kind of get that.
Totally. So I get why that's included. In fact, in my opinion, it's the crux to this. Get people to this level and going. Not being able to join a party in progress, I think, is bullshit. I've heard people say, "Whoa, maybe that's so they don't kick some noob at the end and then get their friend to jump in." I mean, the chance of that happening is very rare. Your skeptical mind trying to come up with a way that, that I can kick this guy and get my friend and do all this stuff. I just don't think it's that feasible as a reason for not allowing joining a party in progress to not be in this. I get the undersized thing.
And an unfair kick should be reportable anyway, and we shouldn't not have nice things just because someone might be an asshole.
Yeah, I just don't understand the logic behind that. Now the real problem. You get 3 items for the long dungeons, the unskippable cutscene ones, Meridianum and Praetorium. You get 2 for actually probably the easiest thing to run in this is going to be the tower stuff. And then the dungeons, which could be a crapshoot. If you get some brand new people, this could be totally awful for you to run. Or it could be, a walk in the park. But you only get 1 for those. So for spending 20 to 25 minutes of your time, you're going to get 1. To have to spend up to 100, and I'll go back to you, Yelta. You had a calculation of how long it may take to get the Namazu earring.
I think it maths out to 33 or 34 Praetorium runs, or
unbelievable.
Or those 2.
Unbelievable.
33.
That's insane. For 1 item. And that's a rare item, one of the few, maybe the only, that's really special. I guess the seemingly special Time Worn map might be something. But all
that just means you're going to get a... I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're going to say it. Right? It means a portal. That's all it means.
Yeah, I can go get a party of 8, go chop down our daily thing, and if we all pop them, I don't know. Part of the fun of getting the portal to pop is the randomness. I don't know why you would spend 50 tombstones. That's a lot of runs of something.
So you spend, what, like 20 runs to get 50 of these to 2 maps to pick the wrong door twice and be done with it? You just wasted all that time.
It would have been faster to do the map party.
Exactly. Pegasus Whistle. I kind of get it because nobody's running Diadem,
But you can arrange it. People still go. You just need one friend. You need one friend who's in a free company that has an airship free. That's all you need. You go in, you fly around and look for treasure chests, turn in the spoil things or whatever. And, I mean, somebody said it's like, well, since no one's doing it, all the treasure chests are there for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
White Lanyard, Rose Lanyard, those are the easiest to get. Rose drops almost every time. I feel like every time I go into Ravana, it drops a whistle.
And Ravana, even not unsynced, is so fast.
20 seconds?
I know we have a well, no, that would be unsynced.
Unsynced.
Yeah.
Unsynced,
Oh no, yeah, because it's still, but it takes like 20 seconds. One of the guys in our free company was like, "There's so many mounts on here I want. I'm gonna have to grind all this stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, set up a map or a night when we'll just go grind out some of these." I don't know.
Crazy. Answers I can kind of get, but if you have Gil, you could do it, or get some friends and run it unsynced.
Yeah, I don't have answers, so.
That one I could guess turn 9. I get it, turn 9.
It's kind of still a pain.
The weapon, this shit from Odin, give me a break.
Well, it's getting harder to get anybody to go do Odin, but still, 30, 60, that's 90 tomes to get all 3.
Yeah. The riding map. This is, in fact, at first when I looked at this list, I went looking at the amounts. I was like, oh, cool, the riding map's great. I can get these without having to do hunts. No, I'd rather do hunts.
I've already got all of them, so that's also part of my.
And they're also just 2.0 zones. These are only the 2.0 zones. These are from Beast Tribe, the 2.0 Beast Tribe.
That one bothered me because I did those all as they came out. I earned that thing, and you can solo all of that stuff.
Yep.
It would probably take you, 30 tomes, but it would take you. I don't know. It bothers me because it's the cherry on the top reward for doing the Beast Tribe dailies.
It only takes you longer because they make you only do so many quests per day. It's not a difficulty thing. It's just, I have to wait till the next day. And the only of these that I don't have is the bomb one because I'm still working on Kobold. These other whistles, come on, man. And the list goes on and on. Magic Bucket might be one because that's a fishing, right?
That one bothers me because it's untradeable today. And I fished mine up, and it wasn't that hard. But so it's kind of like it was like the one you could have as a fisherman being like, see, I took the time to fish this up. But whatever, I guess. I don't have a baby brachiosaur, but I probably could go get one.
Is Smolder Orchestrion and Coming Home Orchestrion already available somewhere else? I'm not familiar. I'd have to look. Probably so, though. I'm gonna throw out there probably so. And then this is what Inferno Horn, Demateria of the Inferno. Are you serious?
I didn't understand that. I don't know. I want to know what their thought process was coming up with the stuff.
Did they have to round off so they just threw some shit in there? Why not the other Dematerias if that's the case?
Smolder you get from Steel Almajaks, so Beast Tribe currency.
Oh, okay.
So what's the other one? I'm on Google.
Probably the same.
Coming Home.
I just don't understand. As you look at that again, as I empty my bowels here.
That's Vanu White. That's Vanu Exchange. So it's just 3. It would take you less time if you are anywhere near being able to buy stuff with Vanu White Bones to just go get 3 of them.
In fact, the best thing this could do is serve as a list of goals if you want to finish some 2.0 content. Just go, hey, maybe I could do these things and get them. But the Inferno Horn and the Demateria of the Inferno just blow my mind that those are even in there. Anybody want to go? I'll take you into some easy ass Ifrit, and I can desynth some goldsmith shit for you and just hand them to you. It's fine. Yes, call Ruby. I'll give you some of those.
Well, in Construct 8, I have to roll against a lot of other people, but it's kind of the same as Whistle. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of why they chose some of this stuff. I don't know. And I mean, I should be happy we got anything at all.
I guess. I kind of wish we had the gold saucer thing instead.
Yeah, because this does 2 things. It's incredibly grindy, making you run old and boring content, which I'm already doing, not this week, but I usually do my roulettes anyway. I do, so if people aren't doing roulettes and that's what you're trying to do, then you need to just give a bonus for roulettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This event's kind of gross in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
selling stuff, I think you should earn.
They should chop this stuff by I don't know, by 10% or something, just to give people a chance to do stuff
Well, and it's only a month.
Yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head. This thing ends in 5.0. Today is the 24th. Listener, you're probably listening to this next week, 27th, 28th. You are less than a month before the not really the launch, but the soft launch, and then we're in prime time. So no, there's not enough time to do all this stuff, not to grind all this shit out. And most of us will want the Namazu earring, but my God, what a long and grindy road for that fucking earring.
And like you were saying, some people in our free company were saying, I'm not looking to burn myself out before Shadowbringers, and it's well, have a burnout event before Shadowbringers. I'm going to feel like I'm going to have to do it.
This thing doesn't even go into the armoire.
The earring doesn't?
It doesn't look that way. Cannot be placed in armoire.
No. I still have earrings from other stuff I can't put in the armoire, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I think I threw away the behemoth earring because I couldn't do it. And now I need to wait for that fate to pop again so I can go out there and do it. Wah, wah.
I don't know. I'm kind of down on this event. I guess on one side I should be just like, cute, fun, whatever event. I like at the riding maps. I don't mind because it would be another option versus hunting.
Personally, I would like to see those, and maybe I'm just selfish, but I would like to see the riding maps. Why not just make them 3? I mean,
yeah, there's no reason they're 30.
Because you got to get like 10 to 12 of them, more so, maybe like 15 of these in here. It's like just make them 3, and then you get your choice of which ones that you want to pick up, and you know, every time that you run a Castrum or a Praetorum, you get one. Great, you're helping people out, and it gives you incentive to go, all right, I got to run this 12 more times, and I'm good. 10 more times, and I'm good. So it's incentive, but to think, I got to run this shit 10 fucking times to get one map, fuck this, I'll log in a month. Mm-hmm. That's what I think will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's... I don't know. And then the fucking Namazu earrings will just be given away or sold on the Mog Station later.
Oh, God, anyway. Yes. Wait until the Rising. When they give my Dalamud horn away, they'll also be giving these Namazu earrings. So, don't worry.
Oh.
All right. Now we're down on life. We hate this game. It's terrible. We need some good news to pick us up.
We did get some, so that's good. So I'm going to assume this is just a little filler event they threw together, hoping to keep us busy. We do have, and this is same old every time, upcoming changes to script and elegant tomestones, but I think we should go over it because people are sometimes like, what happened to my tomestones? So patch 5.0, they're going to change tomestones and scripts. Scripts. They say scripts in here. Anyway, including the removal of Elegant Homestone of Creation, Blue Crafter scripts, and Blue Gatherer scripts. So they suggest we go, because you can turn them in for some of the other kind of scripts. So they're adding 2 new tomestones, and those currencies are only going to be available after level 80 with 1 class or job. You're not going to be able to get Mendacity or Genesis anymore. You're not going to be able to obtain them. You're not going to be able to trade them for anything. Creation tomes are going to be just removed. So you need to upgrade them for Poetics. Because Poetics is the one that's staying in the game. So. Alright. So they're going to also change it so Poetics will be obtainable from trials and duties up to level 70, as well as the duty roulette. Crafter and Gatherer scripts are going to get new ones. Red Crafter and Red Gatherer are not going to be obtainable anymore. Same thing. Blue Crafter script and Blue Gatherer script are gone. So you need to exchange those. I'm going to have to go do that.
Yeah, I may have some blue scripts left behind. I may have to do that.
Yeah. All right, but would they have some big news then? This is the good stuff. This is the stuff we're probably excited about. Is the letter from the producer part
51.
Part 51. Is it 51? Yes.
51.
L is 50. All right. This was streamed. I tried to watch it on Twitch on my phone at work, and we already discussed, trying to watch this thing. First of all, I am so sorry for Zex and his audio troubles. Oh my God. People were losing their minds, and I'm like, oh, I felt so bad for him, though. I wasn't even mad. I'm just like, oh.
Well, and if you were one that watched the whole thing or watched the rebroadcast, to sum up at the end, they did apologize, and they said it was not one individual's fault, so it doesn't put the emphasis on Zexos. He was the one scrambling, getting stuff fixed. Mm-hmm. That's not to say Zexos is at fault for anything. He did have a nice tweet that apologized for everything, but again, I don't blame Tony. I don't think I don't think it's his fault.
Stuff happens, man.
Shit happens, and that's just the way it goes. But Yoshida did say, we thought 30 minutes was enough time to set up for the sound for this, and it was not. I personally think, I think a lot of others do too, it's that bug that if you change your sound settings while the game is loaded, it just does not do, and it causes client crashes, it causes major sound bugs, and basically the only thing you can do is completely shut everything down, change your sound settings to the way you want them, and then reload everything back up. And I think that's what they ended up having to do. They probably had to, like, completely restart
For a
everything.
while they had I know they just had one of the other mics over by the laptop's output.
Yeah.
There was something else going on with a cable or something that was not working. Because it would be working, I don't know. It sucks, but it was... Yeah.
It was a comedy of errors to some degree because Yoshida's face was just telling the story, even though he was apologetic and was acting nice. His facial expressions were reading differently, and there were two other than the delay, which the thing was delayed 30 minutes or longer.
It was 45 minutes before
45 minutes. And then there was an issue at one point when they took a break and they were going to show the I think it was a trailer.
Job trailer. Wasn't it the job?
I think it was more so the FanFest trailer. There was a FanFest trailer that they were going to show, and there was no sound on it either. And then the cherry on the cake was Amy's microphone battery died near the end, and she had no sound either. And Yoshida's face is just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But again, we don't blame anybody in particular. Reinhardt, we love you forever.
I do have to secretly giggle at people who are like, this small startup company.
Did you see people posting that there is a job posting for a sound
I saw
technician?
that, but that's Japan, and we know. No, there was and then apparently everybody thinks Tony's hot, which
he is.
But it was just kind of funny because apparently I know who this guy is, but a lot of people don't. But I met him back at the first FanFest. And even before he worked for Square Enix, he was the community back then, we knew him. He did all of our unofficial translations.
Back in 1.0,
yeah.
Yes.
He won the pumpkin carving contest we threw one time. I mean...
That's correct. Yeah, he's a friend of both of ours. My Cinna and him talk. He's a family friend to us. So... He's a great guy, but the memes are funny. He's a legend now. Like, people now recognize Exos because...
Just like what's-his-name's hair. That's famous.
And there's the funny memes where it's like the three people sitting there and like he's the... I think you posted one where it was Light Party.
Yeah.
There's one where he's got the mentor crown and the other three are Sprouts.
Yes.
I've also seen the meme where it's like trying to help my mom open her email and Yoshida's the mom and of course Exos is me trying to teach my mom. It's hilarious, but I'm glad, in a way, Exos gets the exposure. I hope what Yoshida says is true. There's no fault, no blame given to anybody.
I hope no blame goes to him. And honestly, they probably got some free publicity out of that shit. Because honestly, we were going, or not we, me personally, but people were going nuts, tweeting funny things. And
yeah,
it was, at the end of the day, I think it was kind of humorous.
Yeah, so do I. All right, enough about that. The good shit. So we are going to be referencing a Nova Crystallis article here. They give the full breakdown. The title is Final Fantasy XIV Live Letter 51 Summary, Gameplay, and Battle Systems Revised for Shadowbringers, and that's by Tony Garsow. Thank you, Nova Crystallis, for putting this in a nice format. I'm sure there's other outfits that did, but we like using Nova Crystallis for these things because they are very good at putting that together. So thank you for that. But Yelta, if you'd like, you can take it away. We got lots to talk about. This is so
all right,
good.
There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of stuff I question, but I think a lot of us thought we were getting more of a battle letter, but this was a lot of... I did not expect some of this stuff. So one of the first things I didn't expect was the fate system is going to offer new rewards other than experience points. I think one of the things they said was we have so many ways to get experience now that, fates, you're not usually grinding fates. So then I laughed when they're like, we're going to give you some unique tokens. So we're going to get some unique tokens from doing fates. The fates are now, and this is all in the new zones, by the way, not anything. I don't think they're doing anything for the old zones.
No.
So the fates are going to be tied into regional lore and let you learn about the areas in the first. It's not tied to the main scenario, but there will be a progression system that will unlock more rewards. The style of fate will only be available in Shadowbringers areas. And they gave us a slide. I'm looking at the slide. So new rewards other than the XP. Additional requirements must be met to unlock certain rewards, unique tokens, and you will get to turn those in at specialty shops. And they showed one of the little fairies, so I don't know if she's a shop. But the currency exchange is like a music orchestrion scroll, a butterfly specimen. That's a wall hanging for a house. The writing map is in there. This looks like crafting stuff. Green glider skin, lorikeet egg. So that it's another way to get, some stuff. So not beast. It kind of reminds me of some of the stuff they used to put in Beast Tribe shops. But I think that'd be interesting. Now I am of the opinion people were like, "Oh, you're gonna force fates on me." I don't really like fates either. But if they're kind of more about telling stories, and I kind of liked some of the fates that did tell a story or had multi-part phases, so I'm kind of hoping it's more about exploration than I don't know. Maybe they're gonna make fate something I'll enjoy.
This reminds me of the Heavensward fates. I felt like there was more story involved with those, like seeing the. What's his name of the spiky butt out there? And it's like, what the hell is this? And I felt that was more story driven than maybe Stormblood was. I'm all about fate. Sometimes, like if I'm running a job I don't feel comfortable on, like a tank or something, I'll run some fates just to get some easy experience and goof around out there. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's a problem when they rely too heavily on fates. But this seems to me like, hey, it's a side thing. We have other options, but this is something you can do to learn about the land and get some XP and get some additional tokens. So there's more than one reason to do this.
I do hope they still leave like the writing maps in hunts. So now there's just I hope it's a additional place to get them, not a replacement.
Well, and Itinerant Moogle's 8.0. You'll be able to get the writing maps for 5.0, right?
Oh my God. This next one I really liked. Side quests. They're just going to level sync all your side quests. So
this is great.
I love this because I still have quests that I'm like waiting till I'm the right level to do them, and then I forget about them, and then they're still on my map, and then so all of them can be undertaken at level 70, and you can use them to level alt jobs. Enemies will be scaled to the player level when accepting side quests. I feel like this is like a progression because they used to have, do you remember the original Beast Tribes? There was like 4 NPCs, and they would give you 4 different level ranges worth of stuff. And then I think Heavensward started the level syncing ones. And then Stormblood continued that, and I like that so much. Whatever job you are, when you accept the quest, that's the job you have to turn it in on, and that is the level of... So I'm assuming then that side quests are going to be more like Beast Tribe dailies, wherein the monster doesn't exist on the map until you've picked up the quest and go touch the location or whatever.
Right.
So I think that's really good. It's really I think that's a nice change. They can still do. I was worried for a second that what if I can do them out of order or whatever? But a lot of the quests do have pre-requirements anyway, so maybe you won't even get the quest icon.
And then you've got zone requirements, because let's be honest, you're going to have to probably find all those little wispy wind thingies before you can fly and all that. So there's going to be a story progression that you're going to have to weave through this area, and you'll come back through when you're level 78 or something or another. So you're not going to be able to touch all the quests right at the beginning. But when you hit 80, maybe you've done them all, probably not. And then you go back, hey, time to level that dancer. Come back through here and start working on stuff. Of course, this is 70 and on, and it's only in the new zones, so keep that in mind. Especially for your dancer and your gunner, because you're going to have to take them to 70 first.
Right. Role quests. This one, I'm not sure how I feel about this one now. So it looks like instead of doing individual job quests, they're going to have 4 sets of role quests.
This is interesting.
But they're specifically, I think, again, tied to the first. You're retracing the journeys of the first fallen heroes. There's going to be one for physical DPS, one for magical DPS, one for tank, and one for healer. And then one quest line must be completed to advance in the main scenario. New jobs will have quests from level 60 to 70, so Dancer and Umbricker are going to get those job quests. And then all jobs will have a new quest available at level 80. So, at first I was like, what is all this streamlining, dumbing down? I like the job quests. But I'm hoping that this means they spent some real time and effort making 4 awesome role quests. And then, good ones for when you hit 80.
Yeah. And you can go back, they said, and do these role quests. Like, just because you take one path doesn't mean you disregard the others. You can come back and do the others, but only one is required to progress the story. I'm hoping, in my mind here, my mind's eye, that it has something to do with the Warriors of Darkness, that you're going to pick one of them to follow, and they're going to kind of take you down what happened in their path. Because there's a lot of historical. You got to find out what happened to those guys, what happened to their world. And it says that here, the first fallen heroes. So you pick one, you go through their little path, and then it unlocks the rest of the story, but you can go back and do the others. So there's going to be some heavy, heavy story involvement with all these quests. As far as the job quest thing goes, I'm interested to see what that 80 thing means. Yes, it's going to have to be a heavy hitter. I mean, it's really going to have to put it all in there. I've seen some going like, hey, that Bard quest better ship those two. It better just go ahead and escalate, put them both in bed next to each other. Let's just go ahead and skip ahead to the real shit. I tend to agree. And then what does that mean for unlocking abilities? I guess there's that. Are they going to just save that one ability for 80? Will everything else be progressive? I don't know yet, and we don't have all those details, but interesting to look at.
Yeah, my knee jerk was like four sets instead of whatever, but I'm hoping.
And then I was like, "Where's the ranged one? How come they don't have a ranged one?"
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping they're really. Because some quest lines were not good. There was it 50 to 60 Bard was just kept talking to that Bard at the log, and that was it. I don't even.
Yeah, anything. I think a lot of the Stormblood stuff was good. I don't recall any Stormblood that I was just like, oh, this was just plain terrible.
Not hot garbage or anything.
Yeah, not so. To me, their storytelling has only gotten better over time. I hope they've taken it to the next level here.
All right, we're getting crafting and gathering quests. So 5 sets of quests. So you're not going to have one for every crafting discipline, it sounds like. And the stories are centered on the Crystarium and the collective of artisans. So for the Disciples of the Hand, the facets of foraging, crafting, and nourishment. The Disciples of Land, the facets of gathering and fishing. So you can hone your skills as you progress through the story of the crystalline mean and learn more about the world and lore of the first. So that sounds interesting. And it sounds like these quests are going to be similar to custom deliveries. I finally figured out custom deliveries in Stormblood. I did not use them as well as I could have. Or no, I'm thinking of collectibles.
Yeah. I could kind of maybe figure out like where they draw the line. Like what would foraging be versus crafting, and nourishment obviously is going to have culinarian in there, but will there be will alchemist be involved in that? But it sounds like whatever job that you've chose, one of those 3 for Disciples of a Hand, or obviously one of the 2, either you're a fisherman or you're not, you're going to follow one of those paths or use that NPC when you're doing the quest for that one.
Well, I'm wondering, are you going to do these as you level up? So if I'm doing a botanist and a miner, I'm probably going to do, there's only one quest line probably for the facets of gathering. Are you going to get XP? Is this to like help you? I don't know. I'm kind of.
And it might be unlockable stuff. These might be how you unlock some abilities, and maybe there's some role actions that go for the forging types, some for the crafting types, some for the nourishment types, and maybe the 2 gathering gets some crossover, but fishing itself is separate and it gets its own set of abilities. Again, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll tell us. It sounds like it's really going to be like learning. A lot of these things are like learning about the first, so I kind of like that. And I also don't think I did all the job. You did too. All the crafting job quests, and it's like that's a lot of questing.
Yeah, and maybe they're to a point when you got 18 jobs and you've got all these other. Because then you've got the 8 disciples of hand and then the 3 disciples of land. It's like we have to make 3 to 5 quests for each one of these to unlock a separate ability for each separate it's too much. You've got to start combining them. And the roles for the disciples of war and magic, and it sounds to me like they're almost developing roles here, not like soft roles, is to help the dev team, the quest creation team, because that's just a lot of shit. And then with too much shit means you're all over the place, and it has less flavor. It's more bland. I was talking to a friend of mine. She was talking about an article that said millennials don't know what a butter knife is. And I know what a butter knife is. Do we use a butter knife at home? I don't think we don't own a butter knife. I think I was talking to Cinna about this not too long ago. We were talking about butter knives. And we've used them at my in-laws, at her parents. And it's nice, but I don't have the counter space to have a bunch of stuff. It's in my drawer of silverware. It's just one more knife that goes in there. And fuck it, half the time I use the back of a spoon to spread butter. So it's like, yeah, maybe I'm uncouth. I know what a butter knife is, but do I necessarily need it? It's just too much shit is what I'm getting at. Too much shit in my silverware drawer, and we don't need all these shit quests. To turn your butter knife and your regular knife and your spoon all into one roll. There you go. I've just invented a new silverware type.
So yeah, I'm hoping that instead of having 11 separate quests lines, we get 5 good ones. So, all right, this next one, I hate it, but that's just me. User interface, they're adding a new theme. It's light skin. That looks like the PvP skin. Is that all that is?
Yeah.
Just expanded. And then it's kind of hilarious to me that you have to actually switch it, log out, log back in, and then you can see the new theme.
Like the sound.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If people like lighter color things, I suppose it's fine.
Most people want to leave light skin and go to dark skin on things like
That's
Twitter or
the first setting
whatever.
I look for. Night mode. Give me night mode. That's okay, though. They say the first edition, so maybe we'll get a purple one, or maybe we'll get pick your colors. I'm not against that. If the UI guys and gals have time for that, go for it.
Yeah, hook me up like Earthbound. Let me choose mint or chocolate or something else.
Oh, well, even Final Fantasy XI had like, what did you have, like 8 or 12 you could choose
Yeah, it's
from?
a Secret of Mana had this shit, and Chrono Trigger had
Well, I was
this
trying
shit.
to keep it in the realms of an MMO, but yeah. Oh, good news for the user interface. All UI elements to be expanded. I don't exactly know the actual definition of that, but cross-world link shells are going to be expanded to 8 channels. I have no idea if that means we get 8 channels with only, 64 people each?
That's the real shit.
That's the question. And I thought they were hoping to replace link shells completely, or is this a multi-step process? I don't know. But I am excited to have multiple cross-world link shells, because in today's world where we can talk, or where we can play with anyone on the same data center, I want to be able to talk to everyone on the same data center.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, target information to be updated. You're now going to see the point whatever percentage, so we can start seeing our 0.1 wipes and really cry. Instead of the 1% wipes, we're going to see the 0.1% wipes, and we're going to be like, oh. Or actually, we'll probably be jacked up, because that's usually when we get serious. Mm-hmm. Party list information to be updated. Good. Housing, furnishing, placement preview to be added. That's nice, because people like me won't plop down their carbuncle bench. That was worth 2 million gil or whatever the hell it was. That's at my house now. I took it from the free company.
I think it was 800,000 at the time.
Oh, it was a lot of money. For me at the time, it was like a lot of gil. But anyway, and more. housing, blah, blah, blah. No. Battle system changes. There's going to be something called the Charged Action System. So new actions designed for more versatile usage. Actions will gain charges for later use. Charges will build until reaching a maximum limit. Actions will gain an additional charge as the recast timer cycles. Charges may be consumed to use an action whenever you want. That might be interesting and cool. I hope that makes for more meaningful decisions in what buttons I push, not how fast I push them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they showed this off a little bit where, especially on Dancer. Dancer has this ability that lets them charge forward. It's funny, they're talking about charges, but they're not talking about charging forward. But in this case, it's both. So Dancer could use it bop, bop, bop if they want to and go dash, dash, dash. But then you have to wait for that timer to go through 3 cycles, that cooldown to go through 3 cycles to get your 3 charges back up. Now, of course, when it gets a charge back, you could use it again. Or you could just wait until it builds up all 3 charges back. However you decide to use it, it gives you some flexibility of how you want to use that ability. And that's just one example. There's other abilities. Now, they didn't go into what abilities they would be, but there are abilities that will have this 1 through 3 charge, and it may be the time to save them to burst. For example, I'm making this shit up. What if Flare had a charge and you go pop, 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 flare, flare, flare? Well, then get your Dancer to buff you up and somebody put a card on you or whatever else. And now you got this big ass burst damage to go out. So these are the type of things I believe they're looking for. In fact, I saw a tweet by Shannon that said something about moving the game toward where burst damage would be more important or have a higher focus. And I think that's where this could shine.
Yeah, it's also, they've noted that certain jobs may not even have charged actions. So this is, for whatever they've decided in the battle system changes, not everyone will need this to make their job feel good. The next one is a casting interruption system. Interrupt enemy actions to turn the tide of battle. So PvE's silent status effect will now be incorporated into this new system. Actions that can be interrupted will be more easily discernible. Tanks and ranged DPS will receive role actions for this purpose. So ranged DPS, melee DPS are not, they're losing leg sweep or something?
Guess so.
Because that's okay with me, I guess.
Yeah, they showed a picture of this. I don't think they showed it in action. There's a couple of photographs, and it looked like the action might flash, or it has like a pulse.
Looks like it pulses a little bit, yeah. And it actually says interrupted, which I kind of like because as a tank, I sometimes forget first of all, I sometimes forget what can be interrupted, so maybe I should just get good scrub. But I also sometimes, if I'm trying to see if something can get interrupted, I like that a better indicator that it's been interrupted. Now, the battle log does tell you when you've interrupted something, but I guess I don't mind them making it more clear.
I don't mind either. The Asuna got kind of that treatment, when they were able to see what abilities could be Asuna'd.
Just helped me not get yelled at when people are like, Asuna me, and I'm like, doesn't have a line over it.
You could call it a dumbing down, but being able to understand and see more, it doesn't make you push the button. You still have to hit the button to make it work.
Well, the problem is they use the same icons for 2 different poisons, and one of them can't be Asuna.
Yeah.
Right. So. All right, they're removing role action customization. So we all have all the role actions right now, and it's just a lot. But as part of the general action review, role actions will be revised to set abilities. So new role actions will be automatically obtained upon reaching their required level. The number of available actions will be adjusted. So tanks are going to get 7, healers are going to get 6, melee DPS will get 6, physical ranged DPS will get 6, and magical ranged DPS will get 4. I don't know why, but okay.
They're the good ones. I mean, basically, jobs had X number that were good, and usually healers had more than 5 that were actually good, and other jobs were just bloated with shit ones. and you didn't know what to take, or you knew to always take these same 5, and it just didn't do it, and they expanded it where you get all 10.
I understand that, but what I don't understand is why like magical range DPS only gets 4, and tanks get 7, everybody else gets 6. I'm just curious.
I mean, unless they determined that those were the only ones they needed, maybe balancing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This next one's weird too. The MP and TP system. So MP is going to be capped at 1,000, and TP will be eliminated.
10,000.
So 10,000. I'm sorry. We knew TP was going away. Apparently, they just renamed TP MP and called it and gave it another 0. A couple more zeros. An upper limit on MP will be set at 10,000 MP. I was freaked out by this when I was at work trying to watch this. I was like, what? So my gear's not going to give me more MP? I'm like, I don't understand. But no, they're changing the piety attribute. Will be adjusted. I think we're going to get more. Our MP regen is going to be. We can have a set amount of max MP, but our regen will get faster as our gear gets better. Mm-hmm. That's what I was really worried about. I'm like, well, how do I do better with MP? So I don't care if they make it 1,000, I guess. TP is going to be removed completely, and actions are going to be revised so they may be used more freely. Okay. Main attributes and materia, and then this is also the attributes for all accessories. So attributes for all accessories are going to be revised. This is really the tank ring problem, isn't it? Tank accessory, right? They couldn't figure out how to balance it, so they're just going to say main attribute increasing materials not meldable anymore. Period. So, main attribute increasing materia melded to existing equipment will be revised to have no beneficial effects. The accessories will be revised to account for this shift. Main attribute raising materia will no longer even be obtainable. Weekly token gear, as well as savage accessories and belts, will have 2 materia slots. I think this was in the live letter. It was a response to crafting gear being so desirable compared to tome gear, upgraded tome gear, and savage gear.
Yeah, we all know those tanks that are wearing the crafted gear. I mean, that's preferred, right? You wear the crafted rings and accessories, and you load them up with whatever materia, because you can put 5 on them. Yeah, it causes issues, and then you've got the strength thing or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know if it says it further in there, but they are going to roll the strength and main stats that the tanks are needing into the ring, the accessory itself. It doesn't have to be meld. You can't meld the main stat, but
I'm hoping this will make it so that if I have the best equipment, it means I have the highest eye level.
You do. That's what it's going to mean.
Yeah, that's what it's going to mean. The slide itself had a confusing title, though. The difficulty in gearing up will be adjusted for each role. Yeah,
I think that's just really tank.
Weird.
That is the difficulty in understanding it. And I'm not looking at the same slide that you're looking at, but they do also talk about the number of slots as well that they expanded. Yep. All right, pet management. I see some salty summoners and scholars about this. Oh, yeah, I know. Some people are happy. Pet system, pet management, and usage will be revised, heavily revised. Pets will no longer be affected by enemy attacks or PC actions. Pet actions will be removed from the pet hotbar. Pet actions will be recategorized as player actions. I think that one's fine, because honestly, most people, now that you can drag them over onto your bars, a lot of people were doing that anyway. That's right.
Yeah, there's no real difference. Actions for pets designed to function as tanks, Titan, Iggy, Topaz, Carbuncle, they're going to be revised. Unique actions for each pet will be consolidated. So, existing pet actions, each summon pet has unique actions. So, Ifrit has Crimson Cyclone, Titan has Earthen Armor, Garuda has Aerial Slash, and in 5.0 and beyond, the shared actions designed for use with multiple pets. Those 3 that I named off are now going to be Iggy Assault 1. Mm-hmm. So, kind of a streamlining. I don't really play Scholar or Summoner, so it's like, I don't know.
I do. Okay. Not the Scholar so much.
But you're happy about the Summoner.
Well, yeah. I'm happy because Summoner didn't have as much bloat as some other jobs did, but there was quite a bit of bloat. So just from the top, the fact that they're no longer affected by enemy attacks or PC actions does not bother me at all. I can't tell you how many times I forgot to bring the pet back to me, and it's standing by the tank and it gets cleaved, because it's one of those fights. Like, we've been doing a lot of Shinryu, and not Shinryu, I'm sorry, Seiryu. And as the tank has to go back and forth because you're sliding and things, as you get mixed around, sometimes my pet ends up where the tank is and it gets cleaved, whatever, it's done. And they made concessions over time to limit the amount of damage that the pets were taking, but, it just wasn't feasible. It just didn't seem right anymore.
At this point, it's like the pet's visually there, but it's really just part of your toolkit.
Yeah, exactly. So they might as well not have an HP bar at all, which means that gives me that I don't have to heal my pet, which means that...
Well, then as a healer, I don't have to get yelled at to heal someone's pet. That always drove me crazy. And
that gives me an ability back, because there's an ability for healing the pet, and I don't have to use that any longer. I don't know quite what that means for Titan. Is he still going to tank, or is he going to act as a different type of action? Will he be a different type of DPS? How are they going to differentiate what Ifrit does, what Titan does, what Garuda does?
Honestly, I would not be surprised if they're all just skins for an Iggy at this point.
Yeah, I'm not either. Now, it does list here in the graphic that they do have Crimson Cyclone. They're still naming them Crimson Cyclone, Earth and Armor, Aerial Slash. So will they do the same abilities? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're all the same thing. I think they'll have a different flair, whether it's a different skin or a different type of ability. That's yet to be seen. I hope there is some differences between the two, between the three, because I want some variety. I want to be able to switch.
A reason to pull out a certain one for a certain...
Right, like
maybe it'll be like Bard songs, right? Where I start my opener and I have one thing out, and then I start my DPS phase and I pull another one out, and then it's like, it's getting close to the end. Now I want the MP recovery phase or something, so I pull the third one out, or something that was a finisher, like Bahamut, or that amazing Firebird.
Yes. So they, I don't know if it's listed here, but they do mention that the action is instantaneous when you pull the pet out. There's no more of this, like, waiting for it to come out, which...
Well, it had a long cast time, and then it seemed to have a long time for it to actually arrive. And
that just goes to the summoner openers. Like, I was goofing with a new summoner opener just last week for shits and giggles. And new to me, it's not really new, but you start with Titan and you do a thing, and then you go to Ifrit and you do a couple of things, and then you switch to Garuda, all within the opener, and that's just clunky. The fact that you got to swap between 3 pets just to do your opener every time is just... It's like, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to do that. So and it feels way less like a summoner. We're not trying to get to 11 summoners. I'm sorry, 11 summoners. It's not going to happen that way. But this is more like 11 than we've been before, because with Phoenix and with Bahamut, you do feel like you've got some real summons. So quickly, to get off of the subject, pet actions removed from the pet hotbar, recategorized. I hate the pet hotbar. I hated the way some of those icons were arranged, so I'm glad to see that go. And then the revision for Titan Eggy to be decided. We'll see how that happens. Unique actions for the pet consolidation. We just talked about that. I'm super excited. When we get to the job preview stuff here in a little bit, I'm super excited to talk more about what Summoner has to offer.
All right, and then we have additional battle system adjustments. Various other changes will be made to improve overall usability. And they mention if you see tooltips in the embargoed media, they may have already been adjusted on the back end. So even when we read everybody's articles, watch everybody's videos next week, we got to remember that it's still not quite done. So don't get too shook up if something seems to have a potency that's only 10% what it should be or something.
Or a 420 cast time and you only get a 1 HP for 8 seconds.
Yeah. So, battle system calculations are going to be adjusted and changed. Chain bonuses will be removed from dungeons in order to standardize XP gain. I don't know how I feel about that. I like chain bonuses, but that seems to be more of a thing that, keep that in Eureka. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
The damage limit will be increased from 999,999, and they have added a millions 9. So that's not really even for Shadowbringers. That's like, the numbers are getting pretty high today, and then they like said in the next expansion, so we're like, next expansion!
Yeah.
Yay! So by the next expansion after Shadowbringers, they plan to revise damage and likely crunch them. So we might see large numbers in an enraged situation, but that's about it. The party bonus, I'm assuming the XP party bonus, right, will be adjusted to account for the numbers of players filling a given role. The rate at which the limit gauge fills will be adjusted for Shadowbringer regions only. Pre-expansion regions will be unaffected.
Oh, and I think that's also affected by roles as well. They were talking at length about how players were abusing the limit break system by the different jobs, and they were using that to some advantage or disadvantage, and vice versa.
It sounded like some sort of nearly an exploit. Maybe not exactly an exploit, but nearly an exploit is how I was kind of reading people's discussion of it.
Mm-hmm. So roles are more important than jobs, and you're seeing that all the way across the board. It seems like a heavier emphasis on role than job.
Mm-hmm. I think that's okay too, because honestly, our jobs are kind of skins through the role. I want them to have differences and stuff, but if they're like worried about how to make a fourth healer unique, I'm like, just give us a different spell with maybe a slightly different I don't know. It's to the point where we have a lot of jobs. I'm not saying we don't want more jobs, because Mama likes some jobs.
We want jobs, yes.
Yeah. I liked this one too. The HP of a barrier shielding a party member will be displayed on the party list.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of those things that drives me freaking crazy, honestly.
Yeah, and then they also explained about this down arrow, that you'll see a small down arrow next to the HP bar if they are not topped off. So that'll be useful in those raid scenarios where you got to get them all topped off, or they turn to stone or something else, you know.
Honest to God, though, I think that the server tick just fucks you there anyway. I can use a goddamn Cure 3 when someone only is down 1 hit point and they still get whatevered. So, but yeah, I guess an up or down arrow is probably not hurting anything. Let's see. The party bonus will be adjusted, blah, blah, blah. So the HP of shielding, that's the little yellow bar, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the top one, what does that one mean?
Well, if they're already fully healed, that barrier goes above the bar, but if they're not topped off, then it goes inside the bar.
Inside. And then what, the little square in the corner of the warriors one, what does that one mean?
What, the yellow? It's just got his less barrier than the scholar has.
Huh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, I don't mind having tools to let me know what the hell I should be casting. All right, let's see. Job actions. We had the job actions trailer. We're not going to watch it because that sucker is 14 minutes long of amazingness.
Mm-hmm.
I focused mostly on my most played jobs. However, I was kind of stunned by the Dragoon stuff. Looked snappy and Dragoony and awesome. Machinist caught my eye. It seemed to really, I don't know, it just seemed to be cooler, I guess.
Very much so.
But my two main played jobs are White Mage and Black Mage. Black Mage is, I've watched it twice now. It looks like we're still staying within these stone flare. The explosions looked big and good, but it's one of those I'm going to have to see how it feels when I play it. White Mage, though, very much seems like we're moving. I'm hoping it's what a lot of people are suspecting, that instead of like Aereo and stone, we're doing Dia, Banish, right? Those white magic.
Holy magic.
Holy magic, yeah. So, which also, means that maybe stripping off the arrow, the wind, and the earth spells, maybe they
Who
can give
would
us
use
a
those? Who would use
geomancer
water, wind, and
or
earth
something.
spells then?
I know. I'm like geomancer. That really. I'm almost now. I'm like thinking they've already have decided geomancer will be the next healer, right? Give them those, and I'm happy letting the other elemental spells go and being more holy, if that means we get another healer.
And you get wings.
And I get wings, right? So well, I gotta be fair. The white mage ability video didn't really blow up my skirt a whole lot. It looks like the bits I did like is it looks like the lilies gauge just charges and then you decide when to spend it or something. Some of it was looked like it was like DPS-y involved. Oh, and everybody who I think probably misunderstood, they talked about pure healing, going back to pure healing. That doesn't mean you're only going to heal. I do hope that they challenge us enough so we might have to heal more, or deciding what buttons to push. You know, just I'm hoping I won't be able to just stand there and stone things or banish things forever. I would like to have to do a little bit of healing, but
yeah, riddle me this. Why would they give you the Black Lily if they didn't want you to DPS?
Well, I think they specifically talked about, you know, that Black Lily is a big damage. You're not going to take damage away. First of all, if they tune the game where a medium strength healer has to heal 100% to keep the party up, doesn't ever have time for any damage. What is that lower, I don't want to say skill, but maybe experienced, but skill or experience, either way. People will get a lower experienced healer in a dungeon, and it's like they won't be able to keep a tank up. So I kind of understand. I don't want them to dumb down healing or make you have to do 100% of healing. But as my equipment grows, my skill level grows, my confidence grows, you know, I should be able to move from the just reactionary healing or shield healing or whatever to I now have time to DPS.
Yep. I agree. Were you wanting to cover just the ones that you like, or what?
Well, I did notice there was talks about I don't know. I don't even know all of them though.
Yeah, I don't mind kind of picking up and reading some of this stuff here just to give you a break because that top part was long. So tanks, all 4 tank jobs, including Gunbreaker, will be viable as main or off tank. There was that discussion. Remember, is there going to be a designation? They're all viable, but they've taken away that stance thing, right? There's no longer
DPS stance anymore.
Additional buffs designed for off tanks to support main tanks will be added. Tanks will possess defensive buffs that's applied to all party members. Tanks can also use buffs to enhance their defenses for a limited time. Job effectiveness will vary depending on player skill. That's good. Offensive stances will be removed. Players will instead toggle tank stances on or off. Tank stances will be adjusted. Damage dealt and received reductions and max HP increase effects will be removed. Only enmity generation will be increased and all the tanks will increase enmity. Adjustments will be made to emphasize the reduced damage received aspect of tanks. Enmity generating combos will be removed. Skill rotations will not change when alternating between main tank and off tank. A tank mastery trait will be added where all damage received will be reduced by 20%. And bonuses to maximum HP and damage dealt based on certain attributes will be granted. So, mouthful there.
Well, it sounds like there's going to be a tank stance, but you probably only have to use it if you're in danger of losing hate, or there's maybe like a tank brister coming up, right? So
I can see that. Yeah.
But you don't lose damage by not using it,
right?
By using it.
So I did misspeak. It's the attack stance is no longer having to switch to. You're already doing damage. You may just need to swap to that tank stance to be designated as the main tank, so to speak. So.
Well, and they say that they're removing enmity generating combos, but really, I think what that means is they're sliding all tanks combos. All Tank's abilities are going to pull
That's right.
Enmity. Yeah.
Which reduces that's one less 1, 2, 3 that you have to have. You know,
I noticed in the video Tanks buffing other people, Tanks buffing themselves. That was off Tanks buffing the main tank. It kind of looked like maybe was the idea. So that's that. The working together. I think that's. I really kind of like the way it looked.
Yeah. So quickly, Paladin Sword Oath is gone. Free of the feel of play will not change. Riot Sword will allow for no casting time. Sheltron was momentarily in use, but will become more of a lasting ability. Rage of Helon isn't totally moved, but swapped out with something powerful. Warrior's Destroyer has been removed, but the feel of play won't change. New buff when you use a certain action, and the potency will be more powerful than Fellcleave. Whoa. Dark Arts is gone for the Dark Knight. Hallelujah. You have your defensive buffs, but you will draw out your Inner Soul. And our new friend, the Gunbreaker, uses a gunblade dirt. When you slash and pull the trigger, and it enhances an attack, you use different cartridges to enhance the actions. They have a rush move called Rough Divide. Ooh. It's very Final Fantasy VIII. The combo route changes very quickly depending on the actions used, and it feels different from the other tanks. There's a regenerative healing action called Aurora. So good on the tanks. I know the Dark Knights are very excited for that. We talked a little bit about the healers and that pure healing role, kind of misnomer there, and White Mage Yelta talked about. Scholar, the pet actions will be revised. We talked about the pets. While direct heals and barrier magics will be adjusted, but Scholar hasn't changed that much. Selene and Eos are essentially the same. You can just pick which one you like the look of. I don't know how people will feel about that. But then you can also summon Seraph, which can help you cast more powerful healing spells. And Astrologian, this got the biggest changes, I believe. The stances and card effects will be adjusted. The job has changed where all the card effects will have where the card effects will all have damage buffs, but the element of dealing these cards to a member of your party hasn't changed. You run into situations where you may need to redraw a card. They separated the recast timer to draw and play cards. At a higher level, you get an action that lets you use the other stance, diurnal or nocturnal, from your current stance. So a little swapperoo there, which is nice when you're in battle because you usually can't do that. And also, I've heard the rumor that you can't do party-wide buffs anymore with it, but we will see how that goes.
That would make a lot of them sad that I know.
Yeah, it seems to me that the trend is for single target buffs for a lot of this. So you're stacking buffs on one individual when you're ready to do that burst or what have you. I think that's to get away from Astrologian being all-powerful to some degree.
And I guess it was slightly overpowered. It's, part of why they were having trouble balancing it, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I do feel that, and I feel this with all the jobs, but healers had this issue. It's the identity crisis. I think the 10 roll actions caused some identity crisis and the genericness, and we were really afraid that everything was just going to be generic. I'm not really sensing that as much. I haven't touched it. I haven't played it. On the 29th, we'll hear more from those at the media tour. But I feel like some identity has gone back, especially with the white mages being able to use holy type magic. This upgrade to Seraph, it's very fairy, although the Selene and Eos thing is kind of And then the Astrologians, I think they still had their own identity. It's getting back the white mage, its identity. That's I think identity has come back. The only other identity thing, and I failed to mention this at the top, is rest in peace, Boo Boo. Protect is gone.
I know. I get why they did it, but to me, Protect is iconic, and I was really hoping that they would leave it into some sort of other shield. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. I get it. All right, moving on. DPS. The design concepts will be more traditional. Mechanics will be revised accordingly. They felt DPS went in two directions. One that had a simple evolution, like Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Black Mage, and Red Mage. These are the ones that didn't change drastically. Monks finally got that fourth stack of Grease Lightning.
Yep.
I hope that they're happy with the changes when they get them. I've heard some monks go, it wasn't quite as much as I had hoped for, but, we'll see. Moving on, Dragoon's jumps have become very quick. That's really
that was noticeable in the in the video.
But that big jump that's got the light purple arrow with the
that's weird.
Well, but Nidhogg does that. These are still very Nidhogg.
Well, there is an eye. One of the abilities had like a Nidhogg eye.
Mm-hmm. Still very Nidhogg.
Well, somebody also noticed. Oh no, that was a Dark Knight ability. Never mind. There's an ability that people noticed that looked like another one from an earlier Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one. It's good. We already talked about Dark Knight. That's Darkness. Yeah, I already talked about that. But that was Darkness from Final Fantasy IV, which is great. Samurai's initial concept was easy accessibility, and it hasn't changed too much. The expansion will have simple evolution of the job. Hagakure has been revised, and you can activate Midare Setsukeka more easily. All right. I don't play Samurai. Ninjas. Enemy enmity actions have been removed in accordance with the changes to the tank role. Black Mage. Stacked action to maintain Umbral Ice so the DPS output can be more evenly preserved. Let's see. Other changes. More powerful magic. Fire 5 and Blizzard 5. And there are more instant cast spells.
Fire. Yeah. Oh, that's nice because Black Mage has movement issues, so some instant cast spells would be awesome.
Yes. Black Mage evolved to cast more magic. If you're at 0 MP, you can use Blizzard 3 to instantly restore MP. Flare only affects one enemy. Wow. Red Mage had a simple evolution. While you're moving, the gauge depletes, but there are more actions to do while moving. That's interesting. You will continue to accumulate white and black mana, and then you can use displacement. Each individual job will allow you to build an AoE into your rotation. So that's interesting. But the big ones, the ones that really changed drastically, Machinist. Machinist gets a badass robot now. Gauss Barrel is no more. Yeah, they just said it didn't feel rewarding, and watching the video to see him bust out a mech to fight next to you and do some, it just looked fucking cool. Plus, they got Bioblaster, and I saw a drill. In fact, when we'll watch the benchmark in a little bit, you can hear the drill go off, and it's got this sound. That's Remember when Gravity came out? And you were like, oh, that sounds so cool. It's like this reverse sounding spell, like it goes. It
was amazing.
Oh my god,
completely amazing.
This drill sounds so good. Bard's overall feel hasn't changed, but they took away the crit stuff, the whole party thing. That's been removed to fit with the rebalancing party synergy. Higher levels, you'll unlock Soul Voice gauge that will unlock more powerful actions. Summoner mechanics will be partially reworked. Ruin 4 available when the pet performs certain actions. Eggy summons are now instant. You can call forth the Eggy depending on the situation. Once you summon Bahamut, you'll be able to summon Phoenix.
Looked awesome.
Looked amazing. And as a summoner, if you know your rotation, you're doing the dots and you're doing your festers, and then you use your aether flows and you build up a stack of Bahamut. And then you do the rotation again, then you have the 2 stacks of Bahamut, and then you can bust Bahamut out. Then once Bahamut's gone, it's like this dry spell where you're just pounding away at Ruin 3 until you get your Aether Flow stacks back up, and then you got to go through that process again. So there's like this dead spot. And what I'm hoping is that after you do Bahamut, you have less dead time after that, and then it's let's bring Phoenix out, and so there's more of a balance between the two. And I still love that Summoner's very Coil. Bahamut's from Coil, Phoenix is from Coil. I've heard some people bitching about the lore that Alize said, well, Phoenix isn't supposed to be out. We don't want people to know about Phoenix because it's my grandfather's legacy.
It's past.
It is
old at this point.
It's over. And you won't have to worry about Aetherflow stacks before entering combat anymore either. Ew. It only had 2 as far as the job video goes, where Scholar had 3 still. Interesting. Dancer's a character that uses dances to buff. Now, this is one of the most interesting because it's a new job. You pick a partner, and you do these 2 types of steps. You can do standard step or technical step. The standard step gives you 2 options. Technical gives you 4. Once you go into your step, the next action must be your next step. Once the step is completed, it applies the buff. The buff you apply to yourself also applies to your dance partner. There are 2 types of attacks the dancer can do, single target and AoE from a distance. As you do more steps, the quicker it gets paced. Whenever your partner lands a successful weapon skill action, the dancer gets a buff to your job gauge. If it accumulates to 50, you can unlock more powerful steps. So I guess the difficulty with dancer is as you do it, you got to get fat, like DDR or something, right? You got to get a little faster every time you do it. To keep up the pace. So that might be that skill cap that says a good dancer from a bad dancer. And that is the job stuff. Again, we're not going to watch the video. I suggest, listener, you go and watch the video. They don't name the actions. They just show it. But if you want a good time just seeing it. Also the music. Let's talk real quick about the music. There's like a variation of that new opening theme. There's a variation of like the 011 music. There's a variation of the Crystal Tower music, I believe, in here. Good shit. I'm happy with everything I'm hearing from Soken thus far. Any thoughts, Yelta?
Oh, there's just so much in there. It's hard to even.
Yeah.
It's hard to even. I'm excited tentatively for all the changes. Some of the changes seem big. I know some people are like, I don't like, they feel like they got nerfed, and other people feel like other stuff has gotten overpowered. But honestly, I feel like wait till it shows up, right?
Sure.
They said, I know it seems like you're going to want to take a dancer to every single party, but you don't have to. And it's like, well, but the way you described it, I'd rather take a dancer than a bard, or I'd rather, whatever. So it's like, I don't know. But I'm more than willing to just wait and see, right? Mm-hmm. Just wait and see what really is. Because I feel like the changes went further than I thought they would. You know what I mean? I feel like I wasn't expecting, taking away entire stances or whatever. But I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So,
I mean, as long as it makes the game better, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't want huge dumbing down or anything, but there's some forms of streamlining that would be, I do like the tank. What one of the slides says, and this has been memed a lot. Job effectiveness will vary depending on player skill. It made me laugh so hard. Okay, there was a few other things that happened in this thing, and I have to scroll down to find it.
Announcements here, I guess.
They did announce that Final Fantasy XIV heads to E3 on June 11th to Thursday, June 13th. So that's going on. And people who attend will get to go hands-on against Titania in the Battle Challenge. That's awesome. Learn from the producer, 52. It's 52nd, yeah. So that will be Friday, June 14th. So we will have a live letter. They haven't really told us, other than it's got more information on Shadowbringers. So they mentioned a left-handed gaming device. I actually own one of those types of things, and I've never figured out how to use it. But it's a Final Fantasy XIV branded left-handed gaming device. So if you're into that, there's going to be a branded one for it. And they showed some video of Yoshi P actually using it.
Look at the 14 key on it.
Mm-hmm. It's XIV.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good. That's too good. have talked to people who use that type of gaming device and really enjoy it for 14. Because you can really put a lot of stuff on, that section. You have the thumb pad, joystick, and I don't know. That's neat. Okay, I guess that brings us to the benchmark trailer, right?
Ooh.
Do we want to talk about the benchmark trailer?
Yeah, we can talk about the benchmark trailer. But there is one other announcement.
There's one more thing in between. The Final Fantasy XIV Orchestra concert, Eorzean Symphony, returns to Japan. I actually saw the first half of this title the other day, and I'm like, oh, we have to go. No, it's in Japan.
Yeah, take a flight.
Get on a plane. So Saturday, September 21st, and Sunday has two performances, and Sunday, the 22nd, September 22nd, has one performance in the afternoon, but it's at the Pacifico Yokohama National Convention Hall. So it is going to be the songs that play while you're enjoying your adventures together with your friends, the songs that bring back memories of the fierce battles, and much more will be brought back to life in full orchestra. So if anybody goes to this, you got to tell us how good it was, honestly, because I'm not going to be able to go. All right, then we have the Shadowbringers official benchmark.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, the benchmark dropped last night, right, for us in the U.S. It dropped last night, and most of us rushed and downloaded it. There was a lot of complaints about I don't have permission, or it timed out, or it crashed my browser. Apparently, we just kind of overdid it. But
yep.
And we talked a bit about Vera and Hrothgar designing the characters, and then you get to put them in the. Okay, first of all, Ruby, what was your score? Do you remember your score?
Oh, it was like it was just over 10. I haven't built a computer in over 5 years, so I'm kind of still behind. I'm running like a GTX 970 still, so I'm just above.
Oh, I think that's all I have. So.
10,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but was your score like high, very high?
Oh, it was extremely high.
I was completely floored that this store-bought computer that I bought for Stormblood. So the night before Stormblood dropped, my computer died. Literally.
Right. I remember that.
Toast. So I'm like, fuck. I actually went to the Micro Center website, ordered a computer online, and drove up there and picked it up that night. Because it's like, no, this will not stand. So, but I'm just using that. It's just a power spec, whatever. But I'm actually, so I was just floored that my computer got such a high score. But that also made me worry a little bit that they weren't really pushing anything very hard. You know, I kind of expected it to be harder on my computer. But I don't know. All the stuff I've seen, though, looks beautiful, so I'm not that worried about it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I think we were going to watch the benchmark trailer. It's about, what, 6 minutes?
About 6 minutes long.
About 6 minutes long.
So, like usual, listener, when we watch a video, we'll do a little countdown. You're welcome to start your video at the same time and watch along with us. We'll make comments about the sound, and we'll play the sound in here with you guys so you can listen along with us. But we'll just give our little commentary about what we see. Did you do the benchmark? Have you made characters? I think we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, I made a Vera. I made two Vera and a Hrothgar.
Yeah, I made my Hrothgar. Yeah, I typically make a Rubicon look, and when I say that, it's dark hair, blue eyes, and red facial tattoos on it. So I was able to make my Hrothgar in that.
A Ruby Hrothgar.
Ruby Hrothgar.
Yeah, I did purple fur on both the Viera and the Hrothgar. Of course, when I'm playing when I play any character, I apparently am in love with eyeliner, so I always make like the darkest eyeliner you can get.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, no, I played with it quite a bit, honestly.
I thought it was cool. There was a lot of customization bitching about the number of hairstyles for Hrothgar because it's 2 per face. so I think a total of 8. But when you get into like the fur color and the patterns and things, to me it seemed more expansive. I've seen snow leopards, I've seen jaguars, I've seen lions, I've seen tigers, I've seen Pikachu, I've seen something look like a watermelon, I've seen some crazy ass shit.
But how many did you see that were characters you actually wanted to play? You know
a
what
few.
I mean?
A few, honestly.
Yeah, well, and I saw a lot of bitching about it's just kind of like a remodeled row, but I'm like,
bullshit.
Actually, no. I thought Rothgar looks really good to me. I liked all 4 faces. I didn't enjoy every hairstyle, but I kind of feel like hairstyles are something they can add.
Sure.
So I'm less worried about the hairstyle options. Now, Viera had tons of hairstyles. Mm-hmm. But, okay, so I was doing Viera, and one of the things I noticed was a lot of the hairstyles, again, were bangs or no bangs. But then there's like a tooltip that's like right-click to toggle the bangs, but it didn't seem to do anything for me. I don't know if anybody else had that experience. Also, when I was rolling my Rothgar, I noticed that the odd eye, it was either the odd eye or the hair highlights was still in Japanese. The tooltip was still in Japanese.
Oh, yes. You called that out. I saw that on the Discord, and yeah.
So I chuckled a little bit. But no, I made some nice looking Rothgar. I'm a little sad there's no female.
Me too.
But oh well.
Oh well. Okay. I'm ready to watch this shit.
I'm ready. Count us down, Ruby.
All right. Count down. 3, 2, 1, go. Blood. Full nudity. Full frontal nudity.
No, partial nudity.
Oh, my bad.
This is not the crossword link shell's not safe for
full
work.
penetration by the Dark Knight.
Ruby. Oh my god. I think.
And here it comes.
So we have these ruins with obviously light aspected creatures.
And a big ass sword.
Big ass sword.
So we're cutting.
Dark Knight slashing. A lot of purple. I'm enjoying the purple.
Oh yeah. And then one
I'm
left.
hoping we get purple things for our house.
And Stabbity.
Stabbity.
So now we're a badass. We're walking away.
Through the fields of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, that town looks so pretty, guys.
It's amazing. Here's our new mount. If you pre-ordered,
I can't decide if it's amazing or ugly.
It's
maybe
ugly.
Somewhere between. What?
It's ugly, but it's okay.
Ugly? It's ugly yet kind of amazing. Maybe?
Yeah, I mean it's ugly, but it's not like I don't know.
Shadowbringers. Blah, blah, blah.
All right, time to go to town.
Now we're in town. There's a lot of other people in town.
Lots
of people.
It's a row hammering away.
There's a lot of crystals. Now there's Lalafell running around. Some people are like, and they look like Lalafell in our world. They're not dwarves with beards and whatever. So
well, they came over from the main.
Yeah, but people were like acting like no one will know what a Lalafell is.
It's a benchmark.
And the call went out.
Oh yeah, the alarm is sounding. I love their armor. It gives me that Heavensward feel. The chainmail, yeah.
We have a pink-haired Rothgar.
Time to fly.
This mount is cool too.
Is it a fucked up chocobo? Like, what is this thing?
Well, I haven't seen. You mentioned that. I'm not sure I've seen a chocobo on the first.
I think it's a deformed chocobo.
I'm not sure I haven't seen one either. So this is that scene they seem to put in there, like we're having large-scale battles. This never actually fucking happens, but
right.
But we get to see some abilities used. We see
there's
people
that dragoon.
buffing each other. That dragoon thing. Oh, there's white diormites. Bard does amazing.
There's that drill sound.
Mm-hmm. That big guy. That's a big guy.
Yep.
He's a little disturbing though.
Can we take him down?
But he must be water aspected because he just flooded everyone.
Yep.
I don't even know where that water came from. Oh, here he comes riding in.
Thancred.
I'm trying to remember, did they have the main characters, Scions, on the other benchmarks?
They're on the poster. Oh, I don't know if they were in the other benchmark.
Yeah, so that's definitely Thancred, and we see other people in a minute here, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, everybody's lining up.
Yeah.
Alphino.
Alphino.
Got Urianger. We got Alize.
Yep, Alize. They're all here.
Ooh.
Black mages.
Stola just a flaring.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm about to kill it.
Slash.
Okay, so this underwater zone looks pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually still think underwater zones in Final Fantasy XIV look completely fucking ridiculous when you're just swimming through it with your chocobo or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I laughed so hard right here because I'm like, I saw somebody else tweet it, but I'm like, Namazu never evolved here.
Never
apparently, they're all catfish. Now we're in fairyland.
Speaking of fishing.
Fishing. There's a lot of fishing going on.
I like these bushes. I know what you
rainbows.
love.
What?
This pig. This flying pig.
Oh my god, the flying pig. That beast, I'm assuming that's a beast tribe
Numu.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Numu. I almost wish I could be a Numu. They look so cute.
They're amazing. We're in Ilmeg
those
here.
Look like weird fucked up chocobos, don't they?
They are. They're deformed chocobos.
Yeah.
They're not deformed. Somebody's gonna say, "You ableist, Ruby."
No, they evolved.
They're not my
through a
chocobo.
Different
Okay.
branch of. Oh, it's time to storm the castle.
Ooh, what's inside? Somebody nice is waiting for us. I'm sure. The Fairy Queen.
They'll give us dinner. Maybe a party.
A tea party. I love this castle.
This isn't Alice in Wonderland. It is actually really gorgeous. The rainbows everywhere. It's like rainbows and cute, and then it's like, bitch, gonna fuck you up.
Hello, pretty lady, and your weird pets.
I love the tree dog thing. I am so enamored with whatever the fuck grasshopper head guy is. He just looks amazing.
More enemies like that, please.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to war. What's my DPS? Oh wait, you can't tell me that.
Just look on FF logs later. I'll be sure. I'll be sure to pad you with all of my abilities. Don't at me.
I want my parse to be correct. Oh, I love that when the summoner and the white mage run between each other, and then you see Phoenix. You got the red mage doing the ability on Senor Grasshopper here.
He looks so awesome with his fencing sword.
Oh fuck, the dancer's gonna get hit, but our Warrior of Darkness shields
I'm gonna
it.
Shield you. I wonder if there's gonna be. Well, we have that in other fights. Like Thord and I, when I'm tanking, I have to stand between the healer and
Dancer LB3.
That looks pretty awesome, honestly.
And I scored a 17,000. Great. Available July 2nd.
So
that
good, honestly.
I love it.
The benchmark has been very cool. We saw gatherers, and we saw fighting. I don't know if we saw any crafting. Oh no, we did. Yeah, there was armors and stuff in town. Mm-hmm. So awesome. So if you're not sure if your computer can handle the awesomeness of this expansion, go download the benchmark. It's also bundled with the character creator, which I think everyone should play with. For sure. Whew. Any other final comments on that?
Well, I love it. My final comment, I guess, overall, because we've expended our news, our coverage as a fan podcast, because we didn't go to the media event. No. My final thoughts are: I'm happy with everything. I've been perusing my Twitter timeline. At least on it, I'm seeing overwhelmingly positive reviews. Personally, I'm very happy with the direction that they're taking things. I feel that jobs are getting their souls back, but having utility still there. I'm interested in the emphasis on role versus job. I'm interested in how much emphasis they're putting on the story and how they're going to make this quest line work. I think they've made some great quality of life changes right out of the gate, like with the job XP coming from the quest being level synced. I hope they expound on that as we go. And I think, again, they're moving in the right direction. So I was very pleased overall with what I saw.
Yeah, I had a couple knee-jerk reactions that I think were probably unfair after further thought and analysis. And I see some people, there's some people who are worried. Well, we're always worried when you change something. Some things seem like they got nerfed. Other things might seem initially they got over-buffed. Or I always worry about oversimplifying. And I understand button bloat doesn't equal complexity. But most of the changes do seem like it will maybe matter a bit more, what buttons I hit in what order in response to what's going on versus just hitting my AoE or my single target rotation, or I don't know. I'm hopeful with these changes. They're honestly a little bigger than I thought they would be, and I hope they were well thought out, well tested, and I hope that they will react quickly to our feedback about things we find when the game actually rolls out. So I don't know. I like it. It gets an A++. All right, reminders. We do have a contest running right now. It's the Gather Together Follow Me contest. We have hit 500 followers. I didn't check today if we're above that.
509.
Woo! So we have 500 followers. You followed us. Now make us follow you. So tweet us your screenshot of your character doing the beckon emote to be entered in to win. So June 1st is the deadline. We will raffle for one winner. The winner will get their choice of one minion on the minion menu of the Mog station as of June 1st. It starts now. We do have entry. Actually, we only have one entry, so quit procrastinating and just take a screenshot of your character beckoning and send it to us.
Just do it.
So, just do it. All right, what's on tap? We have two developer blogs. The first one's Can't Read Mama Zhang Face.
Mama Zhang Face.
I hear poker face in my head now.
Yeah.
So I was actually happy to see that they're not ignoring some of there's been some feedback from Mahjong. So with Shadowbringers on the horizon and they're close to the official release amid a plethora of new content, Dome and Mahjong will also be receiving a few updates of its own. So they're adding the character portrait display. Previously you did not see your character or the other characters while you are playing, and you will now see your opponents. Your character's face will be displayed in Dome and Mahjong. You've heard of Poker Face, but have you heard of Mahjong Face? It looks like you can even set different emotes, expressions to throw your opponents off. All right. Option to cancel calls. Right now you can do a call like Pan Chi can. When they appear, right-clicking anywhere on the screen other than the call button will also cancel. So that will be useful for the indecisive. You can also, if you have a losing streak from hell, you can just reset your rating. So if you have a slump where you can't win, don't worry. So on the flip side, if your rating is completely high and you want to reset your rank and rating, just go for it. They've also adjusted some of the winning hands. I won't pretend to know what a lot of these mean, but reading through this and reading through like Reddit comments earlier, it seems like there were some hands that were not quite matching up with people's expectations and whatnot, and I think they're bringing those into alignment at this point. So, all right. So the dev team does plan to continue updating Dome and Mahjong when they can, so they hope we'll take a break from adventuring and give it a shot, even after the release of Shadowbringers. So, yay Mahjong. All right, on your benchmark, get set, go. Basically, they're just telling us that the benchmark software is live, and you can run the benchmark software. You can import characters you've already designed. You can import your settings. Now, I imported my settings, but it still didn't make me like borderless windowed or whatever. But,
yeah, you still have to toggle that part on.
Yeah. So you can change settings, you can create characters. There's a lot of photographs here, but honestly, just go download it and try it. And they're kind of going through some of the hair. So here they're talking about the hairstyle. Hide all bangs hairstyle. Oh, you can disregard the hide all bangs text implemented currently because that appears to be a bug that needs squashing. So my interacting with that toggle didn't work, and they know it. So that's good. Oh, and when you're running the benchmark, don't forget you can scroll down that list of gear. This happened to me this time and last time. It didn't seem to look like I could wear any other gear than what showed up in the initial drop-down list, but you can scroll down.
Yes.
Some
There's
good
a lot
stuff
of
in
gear in there. Not a lot, but, like some 60s,
there's
some
quite
70s,
a bit, yeah.
50.
All right, so you can also, I think, save that. You can save your new characters and have them ready if you want to use a Fantasia or roll a new character during Shadowbringers. So that's nice. There's only a little over a month before Shadowbringers is released. Please enjoy this benchmark software as you let your imagination run wild with what is to come. Whew.
Very cool. There was one other minion I keep seeing floating around, like a little cute bear-looking thing.
Yeah, well, that final scene where they show you the score, I think there's actually like 4 minions on that screen.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, one of them is the little pig with giant. I'm kind of excited about the first because I really feel like it's like long enough ago that they're assuming we've had different evolutions of certain things. So I'm not surprised we don't have chocobos, I guess.
Yeah. But it lets you use some similar models, but make some changes to that and be like, hey, this is how they evolved. There's your new creature. And I kind of dig it.
All right, we're getting kind of long. Do we want to talk about leaks, man?
Well, only to the extent of, and I'm not going to go through all these photos, although a lot of what we saw came out during our crazy period between getting the announcement of the media tour and those that went out in the media tour, and really when the live letter hit, everybody was scrambling to get some information, and somewhere between and I think there were some leaks from the EU tour, but from the NA tour, somewhere between the journalist section, which was, I think let's see, what day did they go out there? It was just recently. I think the journalists might have went on the 21st, and then the influencers, like your Twitch streamers, went on the 22nd. Somewhere between those, and I think it leans more toward the 22nd, somebody spilled the beans on a lot of stuff. Now, there are some pictures floating around. Paladin jobs, not jobs, but the actions, ninja actions, dark actions. We saw an image of the Scholar Seraph bar.
Yeah, people are like, I'll eat my hat if that's real, and I'm like, ooh.
Well, they eating hats? Because that's real. Now, as far as the job actions, I can't confirm those unless somebody has gone back and looked at those and compared with, like, mouse over actions that were accidentally done. The big dog was, I saw a post that it was just a long paste bin of what's out there, and I'm not going to read all of this stuff, but the stuff that we're reading in here, a lot of this is hitting the nail on the head, and that gives me pause because it means somebody has an integrity issue that went out there. All of us want to know what's happening, but the reason that there is an NDA, and Shannon had explained this to somebody on Twitter, the reason there's an NDA is to allow those reps and those marketing teams to have some ammo in their belt, to cultivate hunger, and to allow those influencers and journalists to have a one-stop shop for their viewers. So it kind of funnels that information, so it's correct. It's just not...
Well, and it gives them an end date where they have time to come up with their content, right?
Oh, yeah.
No one has to quick write up an article and be first, even if it's not that great.
That's right. So
right?
all the leaks do is give somebody some anonymous clout. And I get, like, you had the Blue Fever leaks, and we saw things like Bioblaster, and we saw Phoenix. We saw Frey in there, which I believe now is that dark doppelganger on Dark Knight. But those were kind of tongue-in-cheek hidden stuff. This was straight up abilities, and like no more slashing, piercing, blunt. The UI changes. No more vit melds. Jewelry has 2 slots.
This stuff was right. This
stuff was
fairies can't die now.
Yeah,
you know.
It was a little scattershot because you didn't really understand, and then they had like where they were going with some of these things, like something called Narshant Cleave. Like we don't know what that stuff means for a warrior. You know, you can't do that. But there's some things that were just like boom, and names of stuff like. The robot is the queen turret for machinist. The names of certain abilities.
It's a fucking robot in caps, right? That caught my eye.
Yeah. The summoner worked. Talking about Phoenix and not having to spam ruin. There's just a lot in there. We're not passing this stuff out. If you want to look for it, go on Reddit, go somewhere. You can dig some of this stuff up. If you wait till the 29th, I'm sure you'll get all of this because somebody who got this information was the one who leaked it. But it's out there. And unfortunately, I think it's right. There were a lot of fakes out there. I think the biggest fake or the weird one that we still don't know much about. I've heard 2 things about Red Mage. I've heard that their raise was on a 600
300-second cool something
ridiculous of a cooldown, and we had heard before that it was only going to have 3 uses. Well, that may be the charge system, in fact, and then I've also heard that it's going to be instant. But maybe they do have a charge system on theirs where the healers don't have a charge on their raise. We still don't know. So we're not confirming nor denying anything. But it seems like the leaks were correct. So again...
Some of these leaks seem right on the nose. So yeah.
So there's an integrity issue that's out there. And I hope somebody doesn't lose their fun pass in 2 years for going to the 6.0 thing. But yeah. So that's my take on it. You can go out there to Reddit and start digging around, and you can find some of this stuff fairly easily if you're really looking for it. And that's all we'll say about the leaks.
How about that? All right, we have happy hour quickly. We tweeted out what is your favorite part of yesterday's live letter from the producer. We got We got like 6 responses, and we read those quickly. Cloudy Music said. Quality of life changes, side quest level sync, and the light theme, and removal of outgoing damage reduction on a tank stance, and removal of dedicated enmity combos. Yes. Deli Rose said, healer focus on healing. It's so painful when you team up with a stone broil mage. 6 out of the party at 10% hit points, they're still casting broil. Half the party dead, they're still casting broil. Me raising everyone and healing and out of mana, and they're still casting broil with 70% MP, and the warrior is still in an offensive stance too.
Don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. Mr. Player 6, Paladin Gap Closer.
Yes.
Cinna Riesling said side quest level syncing. That's your honey.
She's very excited.
She ain't wrong. Ceresian said the music to the job action trailer was by far the best part of the live letter.
It was good.
It was not bad. Work to Game said, and that editing where they transition to each job, wow. Ceresian says, someone better be getting a raise, woo boy. That video was well presented overall. The real Katashi said, watching the technician fighting to keep his job. He's not going nowhere.
Nope.
I think we would probably be pitchforks and torches if anything happened to him. He is beloved.
That's great.
All right. Last call. We do have a reminder, our last call about Memphina Madness. This is the Score for a Cause event going on. They actually had a game tonight. I wasn't able to make it. They're currently on round 2. This is the fundraiser for, the name escapes me, something about
To write love on her arms.
To write love on her, yes, to write love on her arms. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. So today, I don't remember what it was. I know the Alamego Griffins are playing, right?
Yep. Definitely, it's round 2. The first part of round 2. The second part will be May 31st, that Friday. And then the following week, we're moving into the semifinals. Closing ceremonies on the June 14th, and finals will be June 15th. So there's still time to donate. There's still time to take part in this. And it's happening on Balmung. So if you're there or you're on that's Crystal, right? Port around and get over there and check it out. You can go to their website, memphinamadness.org, and you can check out the schedule there and get more info.
And remember, our listeners should be donating and pledging for the Alamego Royal Griffins, because that's who we're sponsoring.
We're gonna take it. I have a feeling that.
Well, I was like half scared they would not even make it to. I don't even know what the brackets are, but I'm like, what if we're out of the game and right away? But all right, whew, that was a lot.
Yes.
But it is closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at RubiconVale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at YeltaSumasu, YeltaSumasu. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.